Hi, and welcome back. This is the second video in a series of videos about first language acquisition. In this video, I'm going to focus on the section of the chapter that presents theoretical views. But first, let's begin with two facts about first language acquisition. All children in normal environments acquire their native language. This is a very powerful fact. What it means is that children always succeed at language learning. The second fact is that language is not taught. So language acquisition happens as a part of a normal process of language socialization and socialization in the house and in the speech community. How do we interpret these facts? Well, on the one hand, there must be some innate capacity of the human species that allows for language acquisition to occur. So Hummel in the text states that children come pre-wired for language. The second part of this is that there also must be some supports in the environment that are universally available. So this means that regardless of cultural differences, regardless of family makeup, socioeconomic status, and many other variables, there is some common basis in the environment that allows for language acquisition to occur. Let's move on to the theoretical explanations. I'm going to focus on behaviorism and universal grammar. These are two diametrically opposed theoretical explanations for language acquisition. Let's start with behaviorism. Behaviorism became popular in the 1950s due to the work of B.F. Skinner, an American psychologist. And basically what he proposed was that language is learned like any other behavior. It's learned as a result of imitation, practice, feedback on success, and habit formation. Imitation was particularly important in the behaviorist view. Where behaviorism falls short, however, is in the realization that children produce many novel forms that they've never heard in the input. So they're going way beyond what they're hearing. They are overgeneralizing forms, like we saw in the previous video, and they're also creating new forms, so creative forms such as the paper is soaky, meaning the paper is soaking wet. This is a form they have not heard in the input, and yet they are producing it. So behaviorism falls short in explaining this basic fact about first language acquisition. So in response to behaviorism came the theory of universal grammar, which was popularized by Noam Chomsky in the 1960s and 1970s. This is a theory that emphasizes the innate biological aspect of language acquisition. But not only the biological aspect of language acquisition, Chomsky in particular proposed that there's a domain-specific element here, meaning that it's only for language and not for anything else. Of course, the environment is necessary, but the environment plays a lesser role. It's necessary to trigger the process. And also fundamental to this theory is the idea that children acquire language despite impoverished evidence. So despite the fact that the input is quite incomplete, they are still able to acquire language. This is known as the poverty of the stimulus argument. Aspects of the theory of universal grammar remain highly controversial. I won't get into the details here, but what you need to know is that although there is a lot of evidence for the biological basis for language, not everyone agrees that it's in the form of UG, right? So there's also a lot of disagreement about the notion of the poverty of the stimulus. In any case, we'll learn more about UG in Chapter 4 because it has also been prominent as a theory of second language acquisition. But for now, that's it. Make sure you read the rest of the chapter, and I'll see you in class.